Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Smackdown review. Well, once again, I have to say this show was, not good, guys. Not good. Smackdown better than Raw. Not seeing it again. And again, this was like a one segment show, to be honest. So we open up with the Punjabi Prison, and right away, the hood ornament of the show. Jinder Mahal and Orton, they're gone. After the first segment, we see the Punjabi Prison. Orton's on the outside, Jinder's on the inside with the Singh brothers. I didn't even realize that he's the 50th guy to win the championship. Interesting factoid. But aside from that factoid, I wasn't really getting a lot from this. It just seemed a little bit too calm here, with Orton saying, that you've got 1.3 billion souls in India counting on you. But there wasn't enough aggression here. It's almost like they told Jinder to tone it down a bit. He wasn't ferocious in this promo. Nobody really was. Why is there not more conflict? Remember, guys, go watch my review of WWE versus ECW head-to-head. And I chose that because there was a lot of things on that show that I really enjoyed, that I really missed that they do on WWE programming and wrestling today. And, you're not going to see that here. You see Orton and Kurt Angle on that show, on the head-to-head special. And they're going at it tooth and nail verbally. They didn't even need to touch each other, and the story was told perfectly. Here it was all verbal, but the story was not told perfectly. It wasn't told perfectly at all. In fact, it was very dry, and it left a lot to be desired. This did not seem like a big main event match coming up. And if it's the main event match at Battleground, why is it the first segment on the show? And then we never hear from them again. Why don't they format this show so you revisit these guys later on in the show to see what's going on? A follow-up, a fallout maybe? No, if there's ever fallout, it happens on SmackDown Fallout. That's all you get to see. That's the only thing, you have to tune into the network. But if you don't have that, if you're like a casual fan, you're not going to ever see that. And people are not going to have patience for that. Oh, let me order the network so I can see what happens in a meaningless promo. Who's going to do that? Nobody. So what's the point? Up next, you had Jimmy Uso defeating Kofi Kingston. We're just doing what we normally do before a tag team match. We're just pitting, one member of the team against another. And, there's nothing really to write home about here. All the women are in the back again. They're all lined up like perfect, like all symmetrical. Perfect symmetry lined up. One by one. Didn't we see this last week? In fact, didn't we see this the week before and the week before and the week before? Enough! How many times are you going to have the women lined up constantly doing the same thing where it's my turn to speak, now it's my turn to speak? And, Charlotte was shining when she was on Raw. What happened? They put her on SmackDown. It's like so funny. So they draft Alexa Bliss to Raw, and she's doing, well, good, I guess you could say. I mean, not perfect. She does keep getting pinned in fucking tag matches. But, at least she's allowed to shine. You can clearly see that she's supposed to be the number one person there. On SmackDown, I'm not really sure who it is. Naomi certainly doesn't seem like the centerpiece, even though she's the champion. Everyone is just like, just a woman. There's nobody with any specific, that feels special. Nobody's allowed to show their character. What happened to when Charlotte used to stand in the middle of the ring and cut these great promos on Raw? Now she's been reduced to backstage segments where she only gets to say a little something. A little something is not enough. You've got a charismatic girl with so much rich wrestling lineage behind her, and you're going to reduce her to these cheap, badly written promos backstage with Becky Lynch. We're going to have a friendly match. It's all about having competitive matches, guys, because it's all about having fun. I mean, my God, where's the conflict? They're talking about, Lana and getting revenge on Lana. But, Tamina's like, no one's fighting Lana, so Shane listens, No one's fighting Lana. Okay, Lana just stands there, and she doesn't even say anything. If she's not even going to say anything, what the fuck is the point of her even being there? If you're going to put her in the segment, have her say something. I mean, my God, I thought that she's supposed to be this self-absorbed heel character, and she doesn't get to say anything. If she's not saying anything in the segment, I mean, like, how are they going to build her up to be anything? They have potential to have, and like I said, I'm really, 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 really getting sick of all these cucks here in the YWC. I mean, everybody, this is what women's wrestling is all about. Give me a bra and panties match any day of the week. Go ahead and call me male chauvinistic. Go the hell ahead and call me misogynistic. I don't fucking care. I'm not going to be one of these people in the YWC that pretends, oh, I respect women. Oh. Stop trying to get laid on the internet by saying how much you love women's wrestling. Because quite frankly, I know that most people really don't. Okay? It's a testosterone-fueled sport. Most people, they want to see the men. It's the same thing with the UFC. For a little short period of time, people cared about the women's portion of the UFC. When Ronda Rousey was there. And everybody's like, well, Ronda, you're such a role model. And then you see just how, phony everybody is. Because months later, she loses a fight in the UFC. And guess what? Everybody turns on her. And I see everybody writing, oh, she's just some losing slut. Just some cheap hoe. So, the same motherfuckers who were praising, Ronda, all of a sudden just start turning against her. So you're a bunch of fucking phonies. You're not these guys that respect women and they're so noble in society. It's fucking wrestling, people. Same thing goes for the UFC. You're not a great person because you worship caged fighters. Get fuck out of here, guys. No one's buying the bullshit. We all know you rather see the women rolling around half naked. If not, then I'm sorry, you're probably fucking gay. I'm just going to fucking say it right here. I'm not being politically correct anymore to not offend anybody because I'm getting sick of everybody. You want to say a little something on the internet. I miss bra and panties. I miss the more sexual side of WWE. It's human nature that you'd want to see women in that nature, Don't fucking lie to yourselves. We all know, motherfuckers, that after you watch the wrestling event, you're going to go jerk off to porn. So don't fucking lie to yourselves and say, oh, I respect women's wrestling. Fuck out of here. I'm sick and tired of hearing that shit. Chaz Cable has a sit-down interview with Renee Young. And, he's like, I would have been nice. Okay, let me just get this all out of the way. Chaz Cable's career is over. It's done. It's finished. Anything planned for the future? Oh, yeah, but I don't want to spoil it. What? Not spoil it. Okay, Chaz Cable is a guy that, let's face it, doesn't have any charisma, doesn't have any character. The only thing keeping him afloat was comparisons to Kurt Angle. They didn't pick him. They picked the other guy, which is just bizarre as fuck. It's, it's still that like, they did that reverse psychology shit on the fans. They were like, oh, so you think it's going to be this member of the tag team? We're going to pick the other guy. So clever. Such ingenious writing. I mean, like, I could have never even thought of that. Instead of picking the guy that everybody thinks, they picked the other guy. And the fucking thing is, it was just a joke. Most people weren't even serious. They used to joke, oh, Chaz Cable is Kurt Angle's son because they're both Olympians. They're both amateur wrestlers. and they both have similar qualities to them. They both do the ankle. But first of all, it's not even that. They took Chad Gable and they knew that he was an Olympian. And they said, do the ankle lock, wear the sling it, and that's pretty much it. They wanted a poor man's Kurt Angle because at the time Kurt Angle wasn't there. But they didn't pick Chad Gable. So now Chad Gable is a nobody. What's his plans for the future? Future endeavored. That's his fucking plans for the future. They ain't gonna keep this guy around. You could clearly see it. Even when they had the guy return to no response. Once again, I said, like a bunch of phonies. People say that they cared about fuckboy Balor. The guy doesn't even get a reaction anymore on Raw. And I'm not even just saying that to make light of him. Go ahead and listen to when this guy was about to win the Universal Championship or when he won it. The whole crowd was cheering for him. And I made no bones about it. I said this guy was over with the live crowd. Now he's not even over with the live crowd. He's not over with the live crowd, not over with the home crowd, not over with anybody. Just like Chad Gable. Everybody was super excited for American Alpha. They went away. And the thing is, because they did a bad job of bringing these guys back after the injuries. So no one gave a fuck about them anymore. And that's the story there. Nobody cares about these guys. And really, why should we? Why should I care about a guy like Chad Gable? Who is he? I don't know. You tell me. Being WWE, tell me who he is. I don't know. He won a medal. Back in the day that with Kurt Angle, that wasn't just a story. They built this character. They don't even build a character with him. He's just a guy that pretends to be Kurt Angle. And he's not even his son. So it doesn't make, at least, even though we would know it's still kayfabe, at least that would have made a little bit of sense. Instead they picked this smiling doofus who doesn't even say anything on Raw. Where does he say something? A day later, after, we're not going to get into that right now. We'll talk about that in another video. Mike Kanellis makes his debut. It's about time they did something with this guy, and he defeated Sami Zayn. Well, at least he won his first match. At least they didn't feel the need to please the internet fans. And here's another guy that many people, once cared about, and you could see it. The pathetic ringside chant of like 3 people, Sami, Sami. You can definitely tell that most people don't care about bitch boy cab driver Sami Zayn as much as they used to. Because it's only going to take so long before it wears off when you just realize, hey, this guy is just a nobody. He's just a guy with a flabby stomach and he dresses like a cab driver. And he's a bitch boy, so no one gives a fuck. Cena has a promo in mid-ring. It's an okay promo. Rusev attacks him from behind. I can't help but feel underwhelmed. I almost said overwhelmed. Underwhelmed by the Cena return. When the guy left, he was fighting for the world title. Comes back and he's just having a flag match. This is the best they're doing with him. Why couldn't they put him in a feud with Jinder Mahal? That would have been interesting. You want to have the foreigner versus the American. Duh! But instead, we're still trying with Rusev. This is push number 16 for him before they finally give up with the guy and realize they don't know what the fuck to do with him. They keep entering him into these it's the same story week after week. Oh, it's the American versus the Bulgarian. That's the same story they had before he came back. Now they're doing it again. Becky Lynch defeats Charlotte. Okay, it's just a plain match. No one gives a fuck. All right. Like I'm saying, once again, Charlotte's on Raw. And at least we knew who Charlotte was as a person. She was a narcissistic heel. She did everything for herself. She bullied her assistant, whatever the fuck her name is, the one with the giant tits. I can't. Oh, well, Dana Brooke. There you go. And so no one cares now about her. She had a purpose on Raw. Here she's just a wrestler. That's it. The Fashion X-Files, this is entertaining. This is what I said is a one-segment show. This was the only thing within the whole 2 hours or the hour and a half that was entertaining. Because Fandango and Tyler Breeze are entertaining. I mean, these guys, like, it's sad. It's like, this is just like a little segment on the show, just a little hee ha ha moment, really. But it shows character. It's entertaining. They're being funny. They actually wrote this with a bit of care, that like it was like well put together, much like all these segments. And that's why every week I praise these guys. Fandango with the voice, Tyler with the wide-eyed, like I don't know how to really describe him. He's like very naive, very goofy. But these guys, they're very likable. And, I don't know how far they could go with this gimmick, but it's entertaining right now. And I guess that's all that matters. In the main event, it was Owens and Corbin defeating AJ and Nakamurphy. Just another match, just rearranging these guys. We've seen AJ versus Owens 10 million times. I'm not liking how they're booking Corbin, for fuck's sakes already. And the same thing with Nakamurphy. Nakamurphy is supposed to be this special guy, this, artist, this charismatic guy, who gets comparisons to Michael Jackson. They call him the Asian Michael Jackson. Well, Michael Jackson was actually booked, in some big moments and, had some big concerts and was famous for a lot of appearances. And Nakamurphy is just wrestling in matches. This is, they're not doing this in a way, they're not presenting the guy in a way. I mean, and the thing is, because he can barely speak English. Let's be honest, guys. Let's be fucking honest here. Anybody who wasn't that fluid in English in WWE never went anywhere. Taka Michinoku, all these motherfuckers that were Japanese, they never went. Hideo Itami. What happened to Kenta, huh? Guys, remember this guy was supposed to take over the WWE. Oh my God, Kenta's here. And where is he now? He's in the mid-card in developmental hell. The guy was better off staying in Japan. Unless they're giving him more money here, this guy was worshipped. Because once again, all you need to be is Japanese, and Meltzer Magoo and Wade Keller will praise you to fucking hell. At least Keller was honest here and just said this was a formulaic match and, it wasn't anything special. I was almost expecting him to put this match over and calling it, like a masterpiece or whatever the fuck it is. So there you go, guys. What pisses me off about this show, especially, is you've got a guy like Jinder Mahal, where they really had a keen eye here. If they don't do anything right in WWE, they made a good pick with Jinder. This guy got in amazing shape. He's on steroids. Shut the fuck up. I'm sick of hearing it already. If he's on roids or not, he's in better shape than you are, all right? So here's the other thing. What I need to say is that they had a keen eye. They saw that Jinder had potential, and he did. You could clearly see that when they gave this guy a push and they stopped having him get pinned by fucking leprechauns, that this guy was focused. He had a new look, a new body, a different look to him, and he was energized. This guy was cutting ferocious promos and everything, but you could see he's unmotivated. You could see it in the promo tonight. I mean, when he said Maharaja, he kind of came alive a little bit, but not much. It was just a very calm promo. No one was yelling. Nobody was getting aggressive. So it fell flat. And the thing is, you just start the first 15 minutes of the show with the main guy on the show, the champion. Why do they keep doing weird things like this? Why is the U.S. champion in the main event and the world champion is nowhere to be found for the rest of the show? The world champion opens the show. Now, Stone Cold, Triple H, the world champions, they did open the show a lot of times in talking segments. But you would see them later on, either in a match or another segment. You'd see them numerous times backstage. They couldn't fucking spare 5 minutes for another promo? This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is not a good show. You know, instead we're talking to Chad Gable, who doesn't even matter. Most people don't even know they were a tag team, for fuck's sakes. And you want to contribute time to the show to interview Chad Gable, Chad Cable, whatever the fuck his name is, Chaz Cable. Chaz Cable is a nobody. Chaz Cable doesn't mean anything to anybody. Does anybody go up to the work? Hey, you know, when you're at work, you say, "Did you see that Chaz Cable match last night?" What? Who? Flabba them a bagel? Cream cheese on a bagel? What? Who's that? I don't know. Fuck away! Get away from me, you weirdo! Why are you taking out your penis? Ah, you know. Ah. What are people? Ah, who is he? And you can't contribute time to your world champion? Give me a fucking break, motherfuckers. Give me a fucking break. This has been your YWC champ, bitching once again about SmackDown. Still not good, motherfuckers.